windy and grey. But we have hopes because when the sun's out, it's absolutely delightful.
Yeah. Well, apparently we're in for a heat wave mid-June, so we do have something to look forward to weather-wise. And it can't arrive too soon because the grey days. I mean, we're heading towards summer. Just say good morning, Peter.
Morning.
Right, sound and vision. Okay, how are you, sir?
Got a bit of idea. I got my vax yesterday, my second one.
All right. Okay.
Arms a bit sore.
Yeah.
So, just taking it easy. Just as well about to come on, somebody called the call centre for to answer because Andy's off this week, so it's not been a busy week, which is good. And the weather blooming awful.
Just got to get through that through the first day, and then you're home free. Okay. Have you heard from John?
No.
Right.
I thought I'd seen him on, but no, I haven't heard from him.
Okay.
When is this heat wave due, Stephen?
Middle of June.
All right. Sooner the better.
And it's going to last 16 days. I agree. We could do with the sunshine. I've had too much rain. I mean, we went to Stonehenge on Sunday, filmed it, and it was pouring down the whole way, walking from the visitor centre to the henge. And it's totally different. When the sun's shining, it's a beautiful place to be. When it's hitting it down, less so. All right. Okay. Now, somebody's found us. I'm going to say good morning to Chris. Thank you for finding us. Now, we're on a world first today. I just want to check something. Possibly not. Okay. All is good. We are live on 3 Facebook pages. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter. In fact, we're live everywhere today. We're looking for an audience, and hopefully at one of those places we'll find one. If we broadcast to 10 destinations, more people will find us. Been changes in Be.Live. Be.Live can now broadcast to 5 different destinations, which is 3 Facebook, 1 LinkedIn, and 1 YouTube.
All right.
Or you could use RTMP, and you could broadcast, as I am doing today, to another site and 10 other different destinations at the same time. Other note on Be.Live at the moment is that Be.Live is on AppSumo, and we know what that means. There are deals galore. You can buy a lifetime access to Be.Live starting at $49, which is not much in real money.
That too.
Sorry?
Would we get that too?
For new subscribers. So the way you would...
We've been subscribers all this time. What's your deal?
Right. The way you would have to do it, Peter, is to sign up with a different email address. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
John's just got in touch on Messenger. Says he's not very well and he's gone back to bed. Speak soon.
All right. Okay.
Good press for him.
Hope you get better soon, mate, if you're watching.
Yep. Indeed. Say good morning to Fonz. Hello, Fonz. Thank you for joining. Everybody's watching live. Thank you. If you say hello, we'll know who you are, and we'll feature your name and picture on screen. Of course, we'll. Stephen, would you like to talk about your app, or do you want it under wraps for the moment?
I don't know. It's secret. Right.
It's secret. I've seen something which is secret. Thank you for that. Okay, so just to confirm, welcome to the show. This is Blabbing for Britain. Episode 278. Now, one that hits close to home for me is this one. UK travellers to France and Spain may need proof of accommodation.
Yeah.
We're no longer part of the EU. We're all agreed on that. But if you go and stay in a hotel, or you've got a gîte in France, no problem at all. Yeah. If you go and stay with friends, then they need to obtain, I'm just going to try and find the actual phrase. Okay, so I'm going to close. Yeah, I'm going to close something. I could hear myself. We're also live on our websites. You need a special piece of paper which your host has got to obtain. And in France, they've got to pay 30 euros to get it. In Spain, they've got to pay 74 euros. And that's for each time that you visit. In order to get the cart, they have to have proof of being French and living in France, proof of income, who knows, and a whole string of things they've got to go through 30 days before you're due to arrive. It gets better. So that they can send the piece of paper to you, so that when you are entering the country, you can actually present the piece of paper saying who you're going to stay with, and the authorities in France and Spain will accept it. Now, this has implications. As you know, I am chair of Devisers Twinning. Now, the way that we work is that every 3 years, normally, we go to France or to Germany, or the French and Germans come over here. And it means that if we're going to France, our hosts will have to, first of all, volunteer in advance. They can't volunteer a week before our visit. They've got to volunteer at least 6 weeks before. They've got to obtain this piece of paper, and any hurdle you put on a voluntary organisation, it's going to be carnage. It's going to be carnage. Oh. Because the French and Germans don't want to come here anyway. We don't want to go to France and Germany yet. But when we do, there's going to be this extra work to be done.
What? I've just put an X over France. I won't be coming to France. Hey, listen, if they need to go to America.
Where France and Spain lead, others will follow. I mean, this is a money-making scheme. I mean, come on.
Listen, from the Spaniards say, oh, what's all the Brits? And they'll be saying to their government, you better get us sorted out. I'm going to burn this place down, Macron. Burn the place down. It's for you. Yeah.
If you're going on holiday to Spain or to France and you're staying in a hotel, nothing has changed.
There you go.
If you're staying with somebody else, a private citizen, then you've got to go through this rigmarole. Shall we call it rigmarole, Stephen?
It's an incredible situation. I mean, with the Americans, you've got the ESTA thing, and that's about $12 per person.
Yeah.
To get in the country, and you do have to put where you're staying, but you don't have to show a booking form or anything like that. And I recall back in the day, in the 80s, you went to Spain or Mallorca, you had to give your passport in.
Yeah.
Came back a few days later. But this thing sounds like a horrendous.
Do you know something? Good on them. Good on them, because they're seeing who's coming into their country. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Saying, who are you coming to this country? Saying you're staying there and you haven't. Because it happens here as well. Yeah, I'm staying with my uncle. Then they disappear. Good for instance.
It's a sledge.
Great idea.
It's a sledge how much a crack a nut, Peter.
Well, you better tell the fish that.
Breaking up, Pete.
Yeah, but your signal's going, Peter. If you'd like to refresh. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is a recipe for chaos. It's going to put people off twinning. I mean, it's bad enough at the moment. We actually have to convince people at the moment that twinning is still viable, despite our leaving the EU. We've not left Europe, but we've left the EU. We are still Europeans. We're still part of Europe. But more hurdles. I just can't fathom it.
It's like you say.
I do think other countries will join in. I'm pretty sure they will.
Well, all I can say is get used to it. It'll become part of life. Don't worry about it. That's a problem with people. All you're doing is
this is not theoretical. Peter, this is first run to the day. This is not theoretical. This is practical. This affects my twinning organisation. Yeah. there's nothing I can do about it. It's a fait accompli, and it's gonna screw things up. From my point of view, this is personal.
Twin in place to sort it and get them voted out. Whoever voted that in. Get them gilets jaunes, get them yellow vests, and get them out in the streets. That's what they'll have to do if they don't like it. What they're doing now. Because my car will be toppled shortly. Now get that changed as soon as you can. We're wanting the British here. Do not think so.
We've got plenty of hurdles for twinning, not the least of which is that to come to the UK, everybody has to have a visa. It works. We've got barriers up as well. People are actually, well, first of all, the Europeans, UK will only accept passports, which means the French and German, the French in particular, who have always travelled within the EU, now have to get a passport to actually come into the UK. So this is just one of many, I was going to say benefits, but that would be too sarcastic, wouldn't it? Benefits of being out of the EU.
Sure, get a passport. It might come in handy one day, you never know.
When the only single trip you make is once every 3 years to the UK, and the only time you require it is once every 3 years, you're not going to pay €100 for something that you rarely. It's only we're only live for 4 days. Waste of money. That's what people will be saying.
Well,
okay. Now
the French are doing it.
Okay, in terms of sorting things out.
Right, I'll have to go. I'll come back.
Okay. Okay, I'm waiting. Is Peter? Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Hopefully, I can switch Peter's camera back on. Yeah, so that's a practical problem, Stephen. We're going to have to work at it and see what we can do, but I don't hold out any hope.
Once again, for the travel industry, it's just it could be the final straw, you know, because there's so many issues regarding travel agents, and that's both the big boys and the independents, you know, friends of mine.
Yeah.
And it actually will screw up. Because I mean, this year, but who knows what in the long term what's going to happen there. And the Daily Mail, God bless it, or the Daily Hate, front page says the holiday police to knock on your door.
I mean, this is scaremongering of the first degree, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not practical for that to happen. Peter's back, I think. It's not practical for that to happen at all. We're talking about police knocking on your door, Peter. If you've been
yeah, the snowflakes. The police have actually changed. Yeah. Steve, we're going to leave you alone now. It's okay. We'll leave you. No. Where do we bow? Where is it we go down on one knee for you? All right, thank you very much. Okay, we'll go and get somebody that votes different from you now. Let's go get them. And that's what we're turning into.
You've lost me, Peter. I've got to say.
We're turning into that. It's a two-tier society. I'll be shopping here. You'll be shopping there. What police have you got? Oh, getting that point. Oh yeah, you're getting the easy police. We'll be getting the tougher police.
Okay.
And the police will all be standing there. We vote for this. We vote for this. Yeah. Like the policewoman that stood the other day shouting for Palestine. You don't do that as police. You arrest anybody that's got a problem. You don't stand there and give your political views, no matter left, right, and centre. And this has got to stop.
Okay, let's have some scientific news and something which will help us all. There's a new Google AI tool which is due for release in the winter this year that can identify skin conditions. Now,
yeah.
I think this is brilliant. It can identify 74 different skin conditions, because you get a rash on the back of your hand, which I have at the moment, and it comes and goes. And you think, should I go to the doctors about that? And you think, no, this is not life-threatening. But if you could actually just take a photograph of it and be told what it is,
Yeah.
it would be a lot easier. I mean, you can go to the chemist, obviously, as well, but to have a hap handy to just take a snapshot of said skin condition, I think is a great use of AI, Stephen, and
crazy situation. Because you've got the iPhone with all of its, and the iWatch, or the Apple Watch, and you can do blood oxygen metering and all sorts of stuff. And it's all based on sort of the when you shine your iPhone through a small a fingernail or something like a finger, the colour of the blood is indicative of the oxygenation of the thing. It's an amazing technology, absolutely amazing. But to be able to sort of differentiate between 74 skin conditions, Christ, it's incredible. It'd be very popular. And of course, you get everybody saying, well, once they've got your skin colour, they'll be able to do this, and get target more ads. And I do have one request of Google, and therefore YouTube. I'm sure they're listening. When I'm on my favourite YouTube channels, could you please switch off the naffing adverts from Nigel Farage? Because it's not, when you're watching a nice scientific YouTube video, this person pops up and hello, and I have developed YouTube Tourette's, and I've managed to switch this advert off within 4 seconds. I managed to get it down to half a second to get rid of the bastard. But it's really, really, so if they don't mind, I'd like them to be moved on.
On channel 4 for me, please. I'm sick of them. Anyway, what
Channel 4, they're the worst.
Right.
We watch quite a lot. We watch quite a lot of. Used to watch quite a lot of this Walter Presents on Channel 4, and it's all this sort of Scandi stuff and European programs. But every 16 seconds, you get 4 minutes of crap adverts, and it's like from a selection of about 6 different products. And there's only so many times you can go up for a cup of tea, and so annoying. But then I then subscribed to all 4, and we will get all your adverts for $4.99 a month, or whatever it was. And below me, every 20 minutes, you get an advert talking about a new program coming on. The same bloody program, and you think, I'm supposed to be away from this interruption to my viewing, but no, this is a commercial arrangement. Well, I'll tell you what, my commercial arrangement with you was you don't show me bleeding adverts. So not very pleased with that. Well, he's gone now as well. He mustn't be very pleased.
He's gone to make a brew.
And that was on his side as well. That doesn't happen very often.
Okay. You mentioned something there which I only picked up on this week. I find this spooky. I didn't realise that Ring Security were bought by Amazon in 2018. You know where this is going already. You got a camera outside your door, and it's your security, and it's on 24/7, and it's watching people come and go. Okay, and it's for your own safety, and you can be on your computer and you can see who's at the door. Okay, beautiful stuff. In the States, they have allowed state police departments to have live access to the cameras. Now, I think that's a step too far.
Across the board, everyone who's got a Ring camera, the feed goes to the Rozzers.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yep. It's a centralized system, or distributed system, whichever way you look at it. Your camera feed not only goes to your computer, to get to your computer, it's passing through Amazon servers.
Yeah.
So they can actually see live any of the locations. I mean, you could have somebody sat watching your front door anywhere in the world. Any Amazon employee has access to it. And Amazon in recent weeks, given access to US police departments to help with crime busting. And this is Big Brother, isn't it?
It absolutely is. It's so scary. I mean, especially when you consider that the relationship between the police and the people in America is so different from the relationship over here. The police in America seem to be massively aggressive, and I don't know why. Well, I suppose I do know why, because but over here, I think there's a principle of policing by consent in the UK, whereas over there, it's policing by what seems to be a violent bunch of hooligans almost. And I guess that they're under such attack daily by any one of the 600 million guns that are in America.
That's true. Yeah.
I just, but to give, the next thing, of course, will be that all your video cameras in the house doing the same security thing, so inside the house, they'll be made available to the authorities. Can you imagine the fun and games they'll have with that?
Depends where the cameras are, Stephen. It doesn't bear thinking about.
Well, it doesn't, because you've got that situation with cameras watching babies in their cots. You know, and indeed, you know, when nannies there's been stuff in the past, hasn't there, with nanny cams where there's been abuse going on by the babysitter or something like that. All that's going to, you know, go through the same Amazon servers, and under the guise of protecting your family, somebody will misuse it.
Right. Okay. The topic we're talking about, Peter, is that Ring security is part of Amazon, and in the US and the US only at the moment, they're granted access to the Ring security cameras, which are positioned outside your home, to police forces, so they can monitor it too. Right. Okay. Now I'm going to move on, and hopefully something that. Okay. Now Peter's had his jab yesterday. Stephen's having his jab later today. I had mine last Friday, and we thought that was it. We thought that 2 out of 2 was enough. But in terms of looking at ways to actually keep us safe, they're now in June starting a trial with a 3rd jab and going to see what effect that has on immunity. Because we didn't know, we were aware that there's going to be a booster in autumn, weren't we? At the moment.
Yes, indeed. I didn't know about this new trial though.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of that though?
Well, 3,000 volunteers. 3,000 volunteers who want to find out the efficacy of it, whether it actually is of benefit. Because we know we've got high immunity. We're never going to get to 0, but we've got pretty high immunity. Would a 3rd booster shot actually improve that immunity? Okay. Right, I've got a comment from Chris, which I'm going to take. If I can find it. Okay. Yes, this goes to, and Chris is going back to cameras. Yes, this goes too far. We must have permission from the police for a private camera, and the police can ask for videos in any case. Yeah, they can after the event, but I agree with that. This is live monitoring. Yeah. Okay. Right, and just to stay with that for the moment, we've all been focused on June 21st being the earliest date at which the regime runs at the moment can be released. They're thinking about diluting that in relation to the Indian variant, which is in 86 different municipalities at the moment, including Bolton and Blackburn.
How many
And
municipalities are there across the UK?
sorry, could you just repeat that, Peter?
How many municipalities are there across the UK?
Probably around about, if I say 800, I'm not going to be far off.
Right.
Yeah, so it's about 10%. And they've sent in teams to actually get everybody vaccinated in Bolton and in Blackburn. And yeah, I mean, June 21st is a target date, because that's the date at which martial law stops, and we can't get prosecuted for having 7 people in a house. And we can socialise, and it's definitely our decision whether to wear a mask or not wear a mask, whether to keep social distance or not. We're not going to be fined. Yeah, but I'm heartened by the experiment. Well, it is an experiment, isn't it? That have taken place with the raves with 6,000 people involved.
Yeah, what's the news on that?
I've not heard anything adverse, so I'm only going to assume it actually took place, and there wasn't a problem.
Ooh, and they did those football matches as well recently, didn't they? At Wembley. Yeah,
well, there were thousands of people at the Turf last night, at Turf Moor. Burnley were playing a team called Liverpool. Have you heard of them?
No. What's Burnley?
No. Liverpool scored 3 of those goal things and actually won 3-0. But I don't mind. I don't care at all. Burnley have got 39 points and are staying in Premiership. So
congratulations.
Thank you. 6th season on the trot, which is quite an achievement.
Christ, it's a long time.
Yeah. And the manager will stay another season. He's enjoying it too much to go anywhere else. I think that's the truth. He's got the adulation of the fans and the players alike, and he's doing a darn good job. Unlike, well, I was hoping John would be here, but best wishes to John. Mr. Sam Allardyce, who is leaving West Brom. I mean, he's a journeyman, isn't he? He's been to so many clubs and done a darn good job. This is the first time he's been to a club and been relegated, which is not a bad achievement. But he said that he couldn't be there long term. He can only be there short term. So best of luck in the next job. Okay.
Did he get booted out as the England manager back in the day?
He was for a short time, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he got kicked out, I think.
He got kicked out because of a ruckus, nothing to do with football. But yeah, memory serves, we're not going back too far. But yes, you're quite right. He didn't really get a full chance. I'm trying to find good news, Stephen. I'm struggling.
Well, the Chinese have landed a rover on Mars.
Wow.
They've started to release images from the rover. So we're now 2 countries with flags in the sand of Mars. Elon Musk, apart from buggering up the cryptocurrency market, and I still don't understand what that means, his starships are now landing without exploding, which is really encouraging. And we're still looking forward to the launch of the James Webb Telescope, which will take it back even further in time, close to the beginning of the universe. And I think the United Arab Emirates have also got something in orbit around Mars. It's just brilliant time for space exploration, really is. So we should have a weekly spot, Stephen. The latest in science. Blabbing for Britain.
Why not? Why not? There's so much taking place.
There is.
Even just in the live video world, so much taking place.
And I've got a meeting very soon with a guy from Snapchat, and he's a very close personal friend, and I can't remember his bleeding name. But he's a Stoke-on-Trent guy, and he has a chip on a satellite that is currently going around the planet. So I just think that's fantastic that his technology is up there on the satellite doing its stuff. And I've got a meeting with him very soon. So when I remember his name, I'll shout it out Tourette style. And but it's just such a lot going on, And it's 10:52, so I better bugger off. And I will see you all very, very soon. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Okay, take care, Stephen. Bye.
Bye.
Right, Stephen's off. He's got a busy day, and she includes a jab at some point. So, okay, now I've got a silent and still Peter. His camera feed's still working, obviously, but he's frozen because he's got XSplit VCam. He can freeze his picture. John, we send best wishes to. He's not well today, which means Inspired by Video at 11 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. UK will not take place today. It means I've got the day off, but I've got plenty to do. I've got 1,001 things I've actually got to get through, which means unless Peter's camera unfreezes in the next couple of minutes, that I do the rest of the show on my own, which happens. So I would say thank you to everybody who was watching this episode. 278 episodes is quite an achievement, and I think we're getting to it. Looks like we're actually going to make 300 episodes. If I can keep, if this team stays together, I'm sure it will. We'll get through to 300 episodes, and that's an amazing achievement. Okay, now if Peter does move, he's moved. Hello, Peter.
Hello.
Right. Okay. Now I'm trying to get a topic which is not controversial. Peter,
when I'm allowed to speak.
I switched you off when you were on the phone. My apologies for not switching you back on again. Yeah, it wasn't censorship. It was my missing the button.
I was trying to say earlier, but I never got the chance. Google Lens. I use it for insects. It's yet to get them right. So don't trust Google if you're trying to find skin cancer or something. Don't trust them for everything. Because if I can't find what an insect is, Google Lens doesn't either. That's it.
Okay. And Chris is saying thank you for the awesome walk to Stonehenge and around. Yeah, I mean that was I got to Stonehenge. We're in the car, sat in the car, and we looked at each other and said, "Do we have sandwiches in the car and just drive back, or do we get out and walk?" Well, I got out and walked, and 40 minutes later arrived at Stonehenge. It was amazing. The technology is amazing. I was just able to click one button on my mobile phone and go live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, and the technology just worked. And when I stopped, all the broadcasts stopped, so that you can actually now go live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter from your mobile phone. And it just takes one click, the record click. Okay, how's Be.Live doing on the iPhone, Peter? Have you taken it for a drive?
I don't have an iPhone, and I gave up on the
iPad.
I gave up on the iPad because it kept crashing.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. Do you want some good news?
But I will speak about the people I watch on YouTube. Okay. Do you know what they're doing? They're leaving YouTube, and they're going to paywall. They're paying about a couple of quid. I think it's going to be a couple of quid a month because they're absolutely sick of them shutting them down for the slightest thing.
Right.
So the one of them I watch has got 300,000 people on a Wednesday and Sunday. And people come on and talk about it. He says, I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. Leave it there. End of. He says, it's time we went somewhere else and where we can speak openly, because the AIs are working everything. Oh, he mentioned that. They mentioned that. Even somebody mentioned a government spokesperson and was kicked off for it. So there you go. So what we've always said, they're getting the websites up, and you're going straight to them, and they're cutting out all the third parties, and you'd be surprised who's doing it.
Right. Do you have a link, Peter? Could you send me a link later? I could take a look.
Or to who?
Hey,
To the no, they're making a website, right?
Yeah.
And to come in and listen to them on their website.
Yeah.
Don't know which software they're going to use, but it's going to be a subscription-based one, cheap,
Yeah.
70 pence, and to get all their followers to leave platforms and go to the platform that they can speak about what they want without the constant fear of someone trying to shut them down. And we've been shut down for innocent things as well. And that's what I'm talking about, free speech.
Well, the censorship is and copyright, and there are all sorts of problems when you actually broadcast or even post on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter as well. They're all censored, they're all policed, and it does mean that you really do. You really do.
A little person, I've never seen you get, well, I've seen you once get upset with it, but even you could be shut down because of something you may say. And it's you may mention a name. Boom, get rid of them. And that's what we're coming to, folks.
Right.
Did you know that AT&T is trying to get rid? They actually bought into CNN, I believe. And CNN's figures have plummeted because they don't have an ex-president that can have a go all the time. Did you know that? The figures have plummeted. And some people, commentators, don't have their shows anymore. Be careful what you wish for. Ta-da!
Okay. Comment coming in from Chris. Thank you for your awesome walk to Stonehenge. Love that being mentioned. Okay, I'm going to share screen for a minute, Peter, because I do want to take your point. And so I'm going to share screen. I'm going to go to there. And come back, hopefully. This is technology. I am back. And I got a comment from Corinda. Exactly. What a great Zoom meeting. You were at cross purposes, Corinda. Chris and I are talking about a walk in the rain that I did on Sunday. So I'm not totally. Zoom had nothing to do with it. So if you could expand on that, I would be grateful. But Peter's just said that what we actually need to think about doing, and what Peter and I are actually doing today for the first time ever on Blabbing for Britain. Blabbing for Britain is, go for it, live on the website.
I never knew that.
So there you are. This is the first time we've been able to do it. Be.Live can now use RTMP. So that means we're going to go picture in picture, Peter. I'm going to get rid of that in a second. But we are live on the website. As you can see, the website is called Web Talks Live. And you can go and watch us live there. You can, well, if I just switch tabs a moment, they'd probably kill it, but we'll try it. I'm just switching tabs. There is a tab, and this is the one that Peter likes. If this works, it'll take a second to actually come through. There it is. You can actually watch us live and comment, and we can get to the comments.
Yeah, I like the comments now.
Yeah, that's basically, that's it. So Blabbing for Britain, I'll hide that now, and I'll close the tab. Blabbing for Britain. I've got several voices in my head, which is we are live.
Is that Caster you're using today?
I'm using Caster and I'm using OneStream. I'm trying to test all of them, Peter, so I could actually do
Be.Live.
Yeah, it's all using Be.Live now. I used to have to use Restream, but everything's now possible on Be.Live.
So the good thing is, right, that you can then, right, you can use a platform, Caster or whatever, and you can put it to your own web page.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to take you down. The only people you were speaking to is the people you want to speak to.
Yeah, your own sensor,
Yes.
and that makes a great deal of difference.
Yeah,
And also, we're actually working for Facebook and YouTube at the moment,
absolutely.
and Twitter.
Slaughter you tomorrow morning, so we don't like that, Peter Stewart. Get rid of it, yeah.
We're actually creating content and helping them,
Yeah.
and not getting paid for it. So back to Corinda, who's gonna. Right, Corinda's learned a lot about security, and
Yeah.
Peter, Chris, and Nick.
Yes.
Hello, Nick. Nick's
Brenda,
here
what are you
somewhere.
saying? What?
Right. Okay. So you've got the opportunity today to watch us on webtalkslive.net.
Yeah.
We're on there. We're also on 5 Facebook pages. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter, and we're on Twitch. And somewhere we've got to find an audience.
Right. Listen to this, Stephen, if you can. You've got a calculator there.
I got my. I used to be an accountant, Peter. Try me.
Right. Okay. So 300,000 subscribers.
Yep.
Times £2.
600,000.
Times 12 months.
7,200,000.
That's his potential. This guy. Now,
Well, yeah.
He's already making about £500,000, if not more, on YouTube. But he said the other day, he says, look, no matter what will happen, one day they'll kick me off. One day they will kick me off. Now, he's actually got bigger, right, subscribers, bigger than Talk Radio and LBC put together, and they're all willing to pay £2 a month to follow him. What do you think of that?
I think it's a proposition. I mean, if he gets 1% sign up, he'll get 72,000 a year. If he gets 10% sign up, he'll get 720,000 a year.
I was worried in case I got the figures wrong. I said to Sheila, if this guy gets 300,000 times £2, he says, because I'm going to make it cheap as chips.
Yeah.
And basically that's what's happening at the moment.
Okay.
Amazing.
Right, the comments are working up. And thank you for the comments. We always like comments. Basically, it was about a Wi-Fi frag attack and how many Wi-Fi. Right. Okay. Corinda's telling us about a Zoom meeting, which was attacked. And is it correct that I can use Be.Live now to be live on our school website? Yes, it is. But you can't do it without additional piece of software.
Yeah.
And you've got Be.Live is here, and your website is there. Okay. You need something in between to connect them, and that something has a monthly cost, no matter which way you do it. Or I'm looking at one at the moment has a lifetime deal, which is a possibility. I'm just trying it out at the moment. I know it works, but you could use that either. But you've got to have the bit of software in between, which you've got to pay for. But then you can then go live on your website. It's technically, if you can broadcast, you can go on your website, because this is difficult enough. So learning a couple of hours, doing it half an hour, and then it will be up and working. Every time you go live from Be.Live, you'll be going live on your website. And the beautiful thing about it is that if you can go live on your website, you can go live on any website in the world. All you need is the agreement of the website owner. Send them the code, and you'll appear live on their website whenever you go live. So this is a game changer.
You see, the guy that I'm on my low carb eating with, right?
Yeah.
He's constantly to people. He's got two. He's got a public group, and he's got his paid private group. You know, and he says you've got to be careful of what you say, or don't play music. All these sorts of things. He says because we could get a strike. And I know for a fact that he's looking for some of that platform as well to in case
Yep.
anything happens. So especially give him your name. I said,
Thank you.
see this guy, he knows all about it, and I think the day will come, Stephen, that people will turn around and say, where's everybody going? Well, they were too restrictive with us, free speech, so you
Well,
only look in the mirror and blame yourself.
I mean, basically, it's the start of a revolution in that you take control of your own destiny. It's your website.
Yeah.
You can publish
Yeah.
what you want. You can go live when you want. It's freedom from, not from tyranny, because Facebook and YouTube aren't that bad after all. They're just a pain in the derriere. Right, back over to Corinda. I'll tell you what, though. I did a broadcast. This is a true story. And Corinda's agreeing with Chris, which is good. And Chris is saying to Be.Live.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, let's go back to Chris's comment. I may have understood. Is it? Oh no. Is it correct that I can use Be.Live now to be live on our school website? Yes, but you need the bit of software in between.
Yeah.
Okay. You can now go live to a Facebook event, which you couldn't do before. So you can set up an event and go live to that. You can go live on Twitter from Be.Live if you want. You can go live, well, virtually anywhere now that we have. So the problem is that the technology is called RTMP. And when you say RTMP to somebody, a fog descends and they sort of say, well, what the hell is that? We need a user-friendly term, if anybody can think of one, Peter especially, a user-friendly term for going to the website. RTMP. I mean, RTMP is real-time messaging protocol. It was created by Adobe, whichever way you look at it. And they use the technology themselves, but they released part of it to be used by anybody, and it's free software supported by the community, and it just works. Basically, it takes your video feed, your audio feed, and your data. Like when I talk about data, I'm talking about Chris's comment. It takes all of that and it transfers it over the internet from one place to another.
Here's the thing, though. Doesn't our friends at ZOM do all this?
Zoom don't go direct to a website, as far as I know.
Okay. Because they do about everything else, don't they?
Oh, they do. I mean, we've got Zoom fatigue.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That gave me a picture in my mind of 12 people on the screen, which gave me a picture of 6 people on the screen yesterday, which reminds me to say to you that I had a discussion yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of which, yesterday's broadcast on Amazon was not product related. It was people, we all told holiday stories. So there was no selling involved, and it will be the same in 2 weeks' time. Yeah. Because I sat down yesterday and I thought, this is not right. I mean, I love the guy to bits, but I'm not here to, it just didn't sit right. So I had a word, and from now on, we will go on Amazon. That's not a problem. But actually, to be selling product it just didn't sit right. So we're going to be telling stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree there, because how could I put this? We're selling for them.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And where shall we go from here? I'm going to, all the Brexit stuff, Peter, I'm kicking into touch.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, do you have any Bitcoin?
Absolutely not. I don't trust it as far as I can throw. If I don't get it in my hands, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Get gold and silver instead.
Yeah. The gold standard, our currency is no longer backed by the gold standard, but it used to be. In the coffee houses in London, back in the 16th and 17th centuries, they used to print promissory notes backed by gold, and our Bank of England used to use gold as the backing for our currency.
Yeah.
And I can't see what's behind Bitcoin. It's all jiggery pokery, to use an old phrase. And in the last 3 weeks, a gentleman, Elon Musk, said he's not accepting Bitcoin payments, and Bitcoin went down.
Yeah, that's correct.
And he said, we don't like it. It went down. So somebody who was sat on $6,000, they said $10,000 3 weeks ago, is now sat on $4,000.
Your investment go up as well as down.
Well, that's true, but not. I mean, when we got that sort of in the UK, we think, okay, it might go up 3%, it might go down 3%. We don't expect it to drop 60% in a month.
Now, initially, you have to pay real money to buy this, haven't you? Out of your pocket.
You can buy Bitcoin or you can mine it.
Right.
No, mining it, but basically. Mining Bitcoin is a major industry, and what you're actually doing is solving mathematical problems for somebody. So somebody somewhere has a problem, and you use your computer to actually work out and solve it. Because some problems can take weeks, days, months to actually solve. So they need all the computing power. So they've got a network of computers around the globe, people volunteering their computer, most of it overnight. So it's working when you're asleep. And they solve problems, and those problems create Bitcoin, and Bitcoin have a value, and it's all.
See, I'm going to tell Corinda about something as well. I don't know, Corinda, if you've heard of Lloyd's of London. Okay, now to get into Lloyd's of London, you've got to be a name. You've got to have a bit of money, if I'm right in saying that. You're about to buy into Lloyd's of London and make a lot of money. But one day in Aberdeen, there was a rig called the Piper Alpha. And it went up. Boom. A lot of people killed in this city. And then they turned around to the names and said, we need your money for the claim. You are aware of that, Stephen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all these names, all of a sudden, they back it up. They put their name there, and then they're saying, we need that money. Thank you very much. But that's the same as once I was in Southall in London, and I couldn't believe the amount of gold there was in the shops, because obviously that's how they get gold at their weddings and everything. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that's their value because it's real, and they take it with them, and real bars of gold. And that's the difference. They've got it in their hand. It's mine. You're not getting it. You know? No Ponzi scheme. I mean, Elon Musk can turn around and say, by the way, I'm not using that. What do you call it? Bitcoin? I've opened this. You can buy it with this, and I'm going to rule it. Yeah? Never trusted it.
Right. We had May 17th, Monday, things changed in the UK, and I think in Scotland as well. We can now go and sit inside a coffee house and drink a cup of coffee inside. And I did that yesterday, and it was just totally amazing just to actually be able to get somewhere near normal, sit down, drinking a cappuccino in Cafe Nero. I mean, that is special. That's become a special thing. And you know, it's getting our freedoms back. And I think it's important.
Just to let you know what happened to me, as you probably know, Stephen, some people are, so I went out on my cycle run, and I went for a cup of coffee, and we sat outside a marquee outside, and they says, we need your barcode, you need to book this, but we're outside. No, we still want it. I says, but we don't have to. Yeah, but we're still wanting it. I said, okay, I'll do it. Now, be careful what you wish for. Because on the Sunday, I had to leave my bike run. It was Friday I was out for. Because I was ill. I didn't feel great. And I went to the emergency doctors at night. The first thing we done was took my temperature. And it was 38. And they said, you're going to have to go for a COVID test. And guess what? I didn't have COVID. But if I had, that restaurant would have had to shut down. Yeah, I'd been sitting outside, away from everybody in my bike, near our bikes. I would have, well, I wouldn't have, but I would phone up and say, very sorry to tell you. Remember you demanded my name? Yeah. You're shutting down for 14 days. And that was the situation. Couldn't believe it. And I said to my cycling friends, you can go into cafes not from now on. I will be drinking outside.
Right.
That's it.
I mean, that's it. We've got the freedom. We've got the ability to actually choose. Okay. Pete, can you remember the last time you went to the cinema?
No.
Neither
The
can I.
last time I went to the cinema, it was actually on my own. Sheila was away with the dogs, doing her dog agility, and I think it was a war film. I said, I'm going to see that on my own. Nobody to disturb me. But that was it was a couple of years ago anyway. That's
Yeah, I mean, I think we must have been half a dozen times in the time I've been down here, which is 9 years.
Yeah.
But they're hoping that cinemas will bounce back. I mean, the filmmakers been holding back films and releasing them,
Yeah.
but increasingly they put them on Amazon Prime and Netflix, haven't they?
Yeah.
Instead of actually going to cinemas.
What they may do is Amazon Prime and Netflix will probably one day open up their own cinemas.
Could be. That
And they
could be a
will
route.
bring their Netflix movie in. Then they can get the general public to get in it. Now, Peter Stewart, a wisdom man, I'm telling you that will happen. They will take the places. You will book online. You'll go in. You'll barcode in. You'll sit and watch a new film. They will charge you thousands of pounds for popcorn, and then you'll go home.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
that's the future.
Yeah, our local cinema will reopen, and they're charging £5 a seat to actually get people back in, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, going to the cinema is an experience. Seeing it on the big screen with the sound, and it is a totally you get wrapped in the experience because that's all part of it. There's a magic to cinema. There always will be. So I think we'll always want to go to the cinema. And wish them well.
I think what we had in Aberdeen, and I think we're doing it again, they actually had drive-in cinemas. Did you know about that? Have you had that down there?
Oh, right. Okay. No.
So, big screen. Can't remember what it was. And everybody drives in like the old times.
Yeah.
And I think that people going about with roller skates, even, like the Flintstones. And they're sitting there. Remember they getting a big joint of beef and the car tips over. Do you remember that, Stephen? And people were sitting watching. So they've done that over by Asda. They've done that, but I've never seen it again. But they're trying.
Yeah.
And but sometimes we crave for old times, Steve. But sometimes the old times aren't coming back, and we've just got to change. Things will change.
Yeah.
Dorinda, just to let you know, at one time you could pay to get into the cinema with jam jars. You watched them, correct, Stephen?
Sorry, I've not heard it. You've taught me something. Right, over to Chris. And Chris is saying,
all right. Just to let you, in the olden days, you could actually go in, and it would maybe cost you 3 jam jars to get in of your empty jam jars. Did you not know that, Stephen?
No.
Yeah, it was. I remember the tail end of it. Used to be during the war and that, and people would pay with jam jars to get in. You'll have to Google it.
I will go. Don't you worry. And Chris is saying, I've not had a chance to be vaccinated yet, so I can't don't go to restaurants, cinemas until it's safe for them. We understand. And over to Korea.
Poor Chris.
Wow.
That's because you're in the European Union, my dear. That's why. Touché.
And Peter, it's over to you to close the show.
Hey, listen. if you want to get the truth, come and have a chat with me. Never mind them. Me, I'll put you right. Have a great day. Get your vax. And I met anti-vaxxers the other day. When he was a Russian, I knew. I says, "Are you a British citizen yet?" "Yeah." I said, "Well, got some trouble in my country. We'll get you put down. Gulag." Anyway, have a great time. Get your vaccination. Do your bit for the United Kingdom. Back to you, Stephen.
Bye for now. We're back at the same time next week. Take care.
Don't shoot.
Okay, and I press the stop and we're out of there.